Good afternoon. I'm Aaron Nichols from the communication team. How's everyone doing? All right, welcome to the town hall. Today we're going to hear from emergency management. Then the new Pillar Ambassador team is going to introduce themselves and announce the 2021 Excellence Award recipients. We're then going to hear from some members of the leadership team and finally have a question and answer session. So let's get started. Join me in welcoming Andrea Davis for emergency management.
Hi everyone, good afternoon and thank you for coming. As Aaron mentioned, my name is Andrea Davis. I work in the Department of Emergency Management. Today we're going to talk a little bit about severe weather awareness. You may ask why this is important. As we approach hurricane season, being aware of what's going on with our weather is incredibly important. Even speaking this afternoon into this weekend, we have the threats for severe weather, so something to always be cognizant of. First, I'm going to start by talking about our emergency notification system, USF Alert. If you are not registered for USF Alert, we highly recommend that you do register. This is a great way to receive emergency notifications, whether it be about weather or any other hazard or incident going on campus that requires a notification to be issued. If you are not currently subscribed, you can go on to manage your net ID and toggle how you receive alerts, which alerts you receive. So just a few of the ways that you can receive alerts: text message, email, desktop notifications if you're working on campus, just to name a few. The next system that I'm going to highlight is our WeatherStem system. So this is a great way to receive forecast information, real-time weather conditions, severe weather notifications. So if you're looking for something like lightning, you can actually see how close a lightning strike is to campus. So this is a really good tool, whether you're planning a trip, looking at what the weather is going to be like for the week, or looking at what the weather is going to be like when you have to walk across campus. So next we're going to highlight some severe weather trivia. So if you would like to answer, please go ahead and raise your hand. We do have some pretty cool prizes, so don't be hesitant. Our first question: which of these severe weather hazards kill more people in Florida during an average year? Anyone want to take a stab? Any other guesses? That is correct. It is rip currents. Second question: from which direction does most of our weather come from? That is correct. All the way in the back. And our last question of the day: all of these make a storm severe except for what? Okay. Correct. And the last slide that I would like to highlight is just a few training opportunities for anyone that is interested. If you are designated as an essential personnel, whether that be a supervisor or non-supervisor, we have in-person essential personnel supervisor training every month, and then our essential personnel non-supervisor training is online. So if you're unsure, please talk with your supervisor. We have an active threat training, which is currently being held monthly virtual through Teams. So if you go to the Department of Emergency Management website, you can sign up for that training through GEMS. Additionally, we have emergency protective actions training. This is also offered online. And then for those of you that are required to, or for anyone that's interested, FEMA does offer a ton of independent study courses ranging from the National Incident Management System, ICS structure. Really, if there's anything that you're interested in, there's probably a course that they offer for it. So you can register for that online, and the link is offered on our website as well. So that ends my presentation. I'd like to invite and introduce the Pillar Ambassador team.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Dan, and I'm from the Facilities Planning Department, and I'd like to introduce our Pillar Ambassador team. We have Philip from Utilities, Christina from Building Services, Bradley from Maintenance, Zachary from Facilities Management Administration, and Devanshi from ASBC. The Office of Administrative Services has spent the past 6 years building out the service philosophy and the Pillars of Success programs. In each of these programs, we've seen professional growth and your ideas come to fruition. While these programs have seen major success, there's always room for improvement. To streamline our employee engagement program, this team has restructured to increase the impact of our success. This new Pillar Ambassador team is composed of 6 employees from across the OAS and will continue to focus on the Pillars of Success that you see on the screen. We're dedicated to help you create your wow moments.
The Excellence Program continues to be centered on our service philosophy, which is that we impact lives every day by exceeding expectations and creating wow moments.
Our guiding principles are being safe, helpful, responsive, and competent. Based on the survey data collected in December, 92% of respondents felt that their coworkers exhibited safe practices. 83% felt that their coworkers were helpful. 77% felt that the coworkers were responsive, and 85% felt that the coworkers were competent. These numbers are great, and we're doing a great job exhibiting the guiding principles. Let us continue to strive for excellence. The survey results indicated that training and development of employee appreciation events were the 2 most important things that we need to focus on. Moving forward, we will place a high priority on these areas.
The Office of Administrative Services has scholarship opportunities available for employees who are enrolled in USF courses. If you see your name on the next slide, please stand so you can be recognized. Stand up. Congratulations.
Before we announce the 2021 Excellence Awards, we would just like to acknowledge all the employees that were nominated. If you see your name on the next slide, please stand so we can recognize you. We want you to know that someone took the time to nominate you and write about your contribution to OAS and USF as a whole. You created that wow moment that is truly worth mentioning. We would like to also acknowledge that we would also like to acknowledge all of you that took the time to nominate someone. Your effort and commitment are greatly appreciated. Mr. Duffy, if you would please step onto the stage.
Don't get that. Now for the 2021 quarterly recipients. We realize some of the recipients may be attending one of the other town hall sessions today, but we want to acknowledge and congratulate all of the Excellence Award recipients for the quarter. So we'll be announcing all of the names. When we announce your name, please come to the stage if you're in the audience. Simone Griffin. Simone went above and beyond to assist an employee, even coming to campus on her day off to help with an issue that could have seriously impacted the employee and their family, exhibiting her helpfulness, responsiveness, and competence, and this is a testament to her dedication to USF, her fellow employees, and being an excellent service provider. Thank you, Simone. I think she's watching us online. Jesus Holland. Jesus received his award in the first session today, but on the morning of
September the 22nd, 2021, Jesus witnessed a coworker experiencing symptoms of a stroke. Jesus quickly kept his coworker from falling and getting injured and then called 911. Contacted his supervisor and stayed with his coworker until help arrived. Jesus' quick actions made for a quick response from paramedics and possibly prevented his coworker from further injuries, exhibiting safety, helpfulness, and competence. Thank you. Thank you, Jesus. Clifton James. Clifton was recognized for upholding an incredibly high overall professional standard. His communication and follow-through skills are always on point. He ensures that no issue that comes his way slips through the cracks and completes the tasks expeditiously, exhibiting helpfulness, responsiveness, and competence. Thank you, Clifton. All the way. Congratulations, Clifton. Tom Kennerath is next. Are you in here with us, Tom? Since the implementation of FAMOUS, Tom has been working to update the university's space drawings to be connected to the database. When an issue arose with the process, Tom resolved it before the vendor could even respond. He created a real wow moment exhibiting responsiveness, helpfulness, and competence. Thank you, Tom. He might also be watching online. Our next is Colton Morgan from the first session. He's here still. Throughout the various rounds of USF's COVID-related messaging and signage campaign, Colton went above and beyond, helping with both development and deployment of the physical signage. He was always responsive to needs. Additionally, he developed digital assets for use around USF, demonstrating great competence in his role. These efforts helped mitigate the spread of COVID, keeping the campus community safe, and Colton exceeded expectations and created wow moments through all of his effort. Thank you, Colton. Jim Niblett was in the first session this morning, and he's been given his Excellence Award, and the reason is because many of the work orders that we receive require extensive planning and preparation. Jim takes on the task with ease while handling emergency work orders in the process, exhibiting responsiveness and competence and safety. Thank you, Jim. Edgar Robinson, again from the first session. After a flood at the BSF building affected multiple floors, Edgar responded and knew exactly how to handle the situation. Edgar worked through his break to make sure that the flood was under control and created a wow moment in the eyes of the faculty and staff in that building, exhibiting safety, helpfulness, responsiveness, and competence. Thank you again, Edgar. Julie Van Horn. Is she in here today? Yes, she is. All right. Awesome. When the spring term began in January of 2021, EH&S was overwhelmed with USF nursing students needing to be fitted for N95 respirators. Julie figured out a way to use Google Calendar for students, which could be shared with fit testing staff and integrated into their Outlook calendars, and was used to process hundreds of appointments. Julie's actions exhibited responsiveness, helpfulness, and competence. Thank you, Julie. Emmanuel Sari, Amber Cross, and Mr. Reyes. After Storm Eta hit Tampa, a group of building services employees answered the emergency call, arriving on campus early the next morning to respond to multiple work orders, which included flooding in the library, classrooms, and multiple offices. The team safely and effectively took care of the issues using all the tools at their disposal to help the university community have a safe and smooth return to work, exhibiting safety, responsiveness, and competence. Iman Al-Asuli was in the first session today, and she's received her acknowledgements and awards, but thank you, team. Chadi Hamwasai and Christopher Martin from the first session as well. The team was given an incredibly challenging schedule to renovate the USF football locker room and meeting rooms before practice season began. With 2.5 months left on the project, a substantial scope adjustment was made, and with 1.5 months left before players showed up, another scope adjustment was made. The team mobilized the necessary consultants, contractors, and suppliers, and the locker rooms were completed on time and on budget to a great deal of celebration. A post on social media quotes one of the players who said, "It surpassed every expectation." This team made the service philosophy come to life, exceeding expectations and creating wow moments. And thank you, team. Andrea Davis, Bill Land, Rob Marlowe, and Colton Morgan. The university's annual Safety Day event was once again a fantastic success thanks to the hard work of these individuals. The team demonstrated professionalism while coordinating with over 20 public safety agencies, implemented new outreach mechanisms to reach our students and advertise the event. They represented administrative services well through their friendly and helpful nature that day, and exhibiting helpfulness and competence. And thank you, team. And now on to our annual award recipients. Jesus Holland from the first session received the annual award. Edgar Robinson as well from the first session received it. Iman Al-Asuli from the first session. Amber Cross and Nestor Reyes will hopefully be in one of the next, and Chadi Hamusai and Christopher Martin from the first session. Congratulations to all of our very deserving Excellence Award recipients. And remember, we need to nominate deserving coworkers. You can either nominate through our website or use the paper forms found in the Excellent Box locations near you. Another round of applause for all those winners.
Good afternoon. How's everybody doing today? Well, this is one of the things I always enjoy is getting the opportunity to recognize our outstanding staff and all the great things that we're doing. It's been a long time getting the opportunity to see everybody get together in a room together with COVID, but what I have to do today is, first thing is introduce, as I'm getting ready to head out the door, we're putting in our leadership team to take my place. And so first, I'd like to introduce our new interim AVP for Facilities Management, Jen Fleischmann. Jen's been with the university since 2014. She came to us from UCF, where she was in EM there, and I think that's where you got your bachelor's degree. Your master's degree, sorry. And she came to us at the time that I got here. I think the first day I stepped, or I guess the second day I stepped on the campus, it was the first big emergency, and it's a great way to see how your people react. I think we flooded the rec center, put 6 inches of water. One of the things we recognized was the need to kind of elevate where emergency management in terms of the command and control on the campus. So as we did the reorganization, about 6 months later, we created the emergency management department that Jen led. We made our way through Hurricane Irma, and that was kind of the start of the crawl, walk, run phase of improving improving our response to emergencies. During the last 2 years, EM's been front row in all of the COVID response. And over this 6 years, and we'll talk a little bit later, we've gone through the accreditation process. And so Jen's been instrumental in leading that, and I'm very confident that she's going to do a great job leading this group forward from facilities management. Jen, come on up.
All right, good afternoon, everyone. Just a couple of words. First, thank you so much to Chris and Carol for trusting me with this opportunity. I look really forward to working closer with you in this capacity. And my role is really to make sure that your voice is heard. So come to me with your issues. Let me know what challenges you face. My role is to make sure that we can elevate those and that you have a voice in the process. So look forward to working with you in that capacity. One of the first things that we're going to be doing as part of the university's budgeting process is looking for opportunities for operational efficiencies. So what makes you frustrated when you come to work every day? Is it a process that we own or that someone else owns? And really, what makes you think, why do we do things this way? So that's what I'm going to want to hear from you. And over the next few weeks, we'll be setting up meetings to get that feedback. We'll send out a couple of surveys and really open the door for you to provide that feedback to us so we can take that to the leadership team and look at how we can make your work life better. So I look forward to working with you, and I'll turn it back over to Chris. Thank you.
It's been a while since we've gotten to do a town hall, and back in the day, one of the things we like to do is kind of tell you some of the things that are going on campus. As you can see, if you haven't been on the eastern side of the campus, there's a lot of construction that's going on. The first one that we have, we need to take care of the infrastructure that supports our folks here. This, we are adding at the Southeast Chiller Plant another 2,300 ton chiller to add capacity to that region of the campus. That allows us to have the redundancy and resiliency of our systems to be able to provide good support to these new facilities. The Genshaft Honors College is coming out of the ground. As you see, we're starting to put the exterior skin onto the building. This, I think, $56 million project. The majority of the donations came from our former president, and it's going to be an awesome place for our honor students as they move out of the Allen building. And I believe the spring of next year we should be complete. The Wellness Center, this was a CITF or student-funded project. This is going to provide additional capacity for medical support to our students. It is a $27 million project, and around the same time it's going to be done next year. Next, we're doing the athletics indoor practice facility. Obviously, with our weather that we have during the fall time frame, having a spot where they can get in and out of the lightning and other rain events is going to be awesome. This will be done probably in the September-October time frame, and we're hoping to at least be able to get them temporary access in so they can use it at the beginning of the season. Up on the north side, I don't know how many people saw the Board of Trustees meeting, but one of the things that they're looking towards building is a stadium on campus to improve the student experience. If they do that, right now, the area that we're evaluating is just north of this facility, and they're looking at approximately about a 35,000 to 40,000 seat stadium. When I got here, one of the things I pushed our directors to do is to find opportunities for us to use what we have as a living laboratory. The design and construction folks set up a number of classes with the Honors College and College of Engineering. They've been training about, I think they've had about 200 students that have taken classes, and they've been kind of watching the process of all those projects that have been going on, looking at how you do the planning, how you do project management, and how you manage construction on a large scale. Talk on the EM program and accreditation. This is a huge milestone. Only a few programs within the country are accredited. What this says is that the processes and the people that we put in place to respond to emergencies and all hazards are in place, and that our program is among the best in the nation. So congratulations to the EM staff that kind of led this effort across and pulled everybody together. So. As the pillar team talked about, professional development is always very important to us. These are just a few highlights of the many things that have been going on. We've been pushing for our folks that are in building services to get their certifications on doing their jobs. We've tried to increase the ability of our AutoCAD folks to get their training. We always are looking to try and improve the leadership team that we have that is supporting you. And so we've put them through the paces of some leadership management classes. And we've also looked at, on the EH&S side, to be able to take our training programs, put them online to make sure that everybody has access to them. For our folks over in parking and transportation, we brought online the first electric bus. From getting the opportunity to ride around a couple routes with them and talking to the different drivers, they've enjoyed the quietness of this particular bus and how it handles. It has the knock-on effect of being green and helping us reduce our carbon emissions, and it's kind of leading us towards what is our future of where our programs are going on the transportation side. One thing I do want to say, I appreciate all the hard work. Obviously this is the first time we've gotten together in a large group since COVID happened 2 years ago. And so this was something that the leadership looked at as a response, one, to recognize people for their time during COVID, and also the understanding of trying to bring some wage adjustments and cost of living increases. I know it's tough out there, but right now we continue. These are some things we were able to do today, but as they talk later on, this is going to be a topic that we're going to continue to work on. We've worked on it since I got here 6.5 years ago, and it's an area that we still need to continue to work on as they go forward. So it's always, I was talking to Lori, she said I made her cry this morning, but it's kind of a bittersweet day. You always, having been in the military, used to leave every 2 years. I've been here, this is probably the longest I've been in any single place. You kind of build a family as you go on through this process, and so it is a sad day to be saying goodbye. One thing I do appreciate is the leadership team that I have in place. They're great rock stars. They're going to continue to lead you into the future. As we're starting to work through, and as I introduce Carol in just a sec, there's a lot of things that the university is trying to do to take the next steps forward. And so that's what I'm leaving behind, is a great team and great people, and ultimately that's what you enjoy. Somebody last week when I was doing my party somebody had asked me what was the most important thing that you accomplished, and I was talking, I think it was with Danielle. One of the things I tried to do when we did the reorganization was have opportunities for growth within the organization. And the way we had been set up before didn't necessarily offer that advancement opportunities. And so to me, it was exciting when I talked with her, for her having gone from being a senior custodian to a superintendent to now the daytime manager. That was exactly what we were trying to do, is take that opportunity and change the organization so you had that opportunity you don't always have to go outside to find people to bring into the new leadership. We need to grow our talent inside. And so I just want to say thank you very much for all the support that everybody's given, and that's that. And now I have to go here. Now it's my opportunity and my pleasure to introduce Carol Post to the group. She is going to be your new vice president. In this role, she's going to oversee facilities management, parking and transportation, the business center, and the university police department. She has had a long and distinguished career, she spent 10 years in senior positions in the New York City government before she came down to USF. She worked for the mayor's office running their operations, and she was the commissioner of the Department of Information Technology, the first female to lead that agency. She then came down and has been working in a variety of positions at USF Health. Then for the last 2 years, she's taken the opportunity to work on Mayor Casker's team and running their operations. So she's gotten an opportunity to work with all the different type of departments that she's going to be leading here. So it's my great pleasure to introduce Carol Post.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. It's really great to be here. I don't want to get too far off the stage because this is a man who has contributed incredibly to this organization and to this institution, and who has been a professional colleague and a personal friend. We've known each other for some time during my time at USF Health, and I am honored to be able to step into this role to take the reins of an organization that he has built and led and created such an incredible framework for. So please just join me with an additional applause for him and his efforts. Thank you. And I have my first swag given to me this morning. All swag is welcome from all departments, all divisions. But really, it's an honor to be here this morning, now this afternoon. And I wanted to just take a few moments while we had this opportunity just to introduce myself a little more, but mostly to talk about you and a little bit of what is to be expected immediately ahead. It's obviously not the last time we'll all meet. In fact, I hope to meet with you all very frequently and to hear and have dialogue with you more frequently. My approach to an organization like this is that you are what the magic is all about. I'm here to lead and to advocate and to be an ambassador for you, but really our operation and the success of our operation begins and ends with you. And I don't want to ever lose sight of that. I also do want to recognize Jen Fleischmann, wherever she's run to, for stepping into the interim AVP role. She's already demonstrated incredible skills in that set, and she's become quite reliable, so I applaud her. And I love this pillar team I saw this morning, and that concept of recognizing the people that make up the teams, and then that team helping to recognize all the other aspects of our team. Again, you're going to hear me say it over and over, is it is all about the people. The people are what drive an organization like this, and we can't ever lose sight of that. So just to embellish a little bit on what Chris shared about my background, I actually am a Florida native. I'm a Tampa Bay native. I was born and raised in Bradenton, Florida. My family is still there, so this is home. It's always been home. I had an opportunity to, I had gone to law school and I was able to move to New York City and ended up with the city of New York right before 9/11. And then most of my time with the city of New York was post 9/11. It was all about rebuilding, reorganizing, restructuring the city at a very difficult time, but an inspiring time. And so I kind of carry that with me wherever I go, that I think there's no challenge that can't be overcome. And then, as he said, I was very privileged to be able to return to Florida, to home, join USF in 2016. I worked at USF Health when the expansion downtown was just beginning. I led a lot of the operational matters concerning the new med school building downtown, the simulation center downtown, and a lot of the expansions that are happening there, and really an increased visibility for USF beyond the Tampa campus. Obviously now there's just a tremendous momentum that the university has across multiple counties in St. Pete and Sarasota Manatee, which is my home. And it's really exciting to be back and to be a part of this and to help be a part of the continued growth. So I'm really looking forward to it. The last 2 years, as Chris said, I had an opportunity to join Mayor Castor's administration. It was a unique kind of leave of absence, and it happened right as COVID was just about to happen, so it was particularly unique. But again, I feel like it was an opportunity to stretch my own skills at a challenging time for the city. Like many of you, I never really did work from home. I was on board, on call. Many city employees were. We really never went offline. And that's what you do as from a public service perspective, is to serve your constituents. And I feel like a university like this and the roles that you all are in are very similar to that. There's a deep public service commitment to those that we serve. So I share that enthusiasm and that commitment and dedication. And I've seen it already, in welcoming people here this morning and in starting to meet people and make it around to some of the areas. There is an enthusiasm, there is a drive and an energy that I can feel, and I hope to draw from it and to exchange back with it and really be able to take what exists today and build on it and take us to whatever the next level might be. What I want to share for today is kind of what to just expect in our immediate future. I'm on day 4, so we're talking like really immediate future, but much more to come ahead. So a couple of items people have been asking, kind of, what's the top priorities? I wanted to share that with you. First and foremost, the top priority is budget, and within budget is the realm, it's all about resources. This team is incredibly dependent upon resources, whether that is people, time, money, tools, equipment, the materials that you need to do your job, and all of that is dependent on having a budget that meets our needs. And through no one's particular fault, the university is behind budget in many, many, many areas, and we're working hard, and I think you can see reflected in some of Interim President Law's movement, a desire to aggressively start to fill those gaps. We're going to follow that suit. And so from a budget perspective, I wanted to give you some visibility into it. It matters deeply to our success. There's 4 key components to it that we will be submitting in the next month in hopes of getting all the resources we need to help shore up our organization for the next fiscal year, and then keep beating that drum repeatedly. The first part of our budget is personnel and talent. The first and most important, I'm going to say it again, is personnel and talent. It all begins and ends with the people in this room and those that are behind you and around all of the campus. We need to retain our current staff. We need to fill the vacancies and the gaps that we have. Both of those are challenging tasks today. We all are in a whole new economic environment, a post-COVID world. The work environment is different. The economics are different. But that's not to say that we can't take an aggressive approach to ensure that we recognize the talents of our people and have appropriate compensation. So that is the first two chapters or the first two asks of our budget, is to right-size our competitiveness for salaries across the board, and then to ensure that we have competitive salaries to fill our vacancies, as well as to meet our minimum wage gaps, and to ensure that everyone is kind of brought up to speed. The economies are churning and moving, and we need to keep pace with that. So when I talk about this, I want you to know our aggressive stance. I want to thank Gabe, I want to thank Jen, I want to thank Mr. Duffy, others who have started to put this framework together in an incredible way, and all the directors who are inputting to it. We are going to make an incredibly aggressive push for what we think is appropriate from a funding perspective. I cannot guarantee you we will get it all, but we're not going to walk away without making a fight for it. So stay tuned on that. But first and foremost is filling our roles for personnel and talent. And the part C of that, the adjust and evolve where needed, is likewise reflecting that everything has changed because of COVID. The work locations, the hybrid locations, the way we service clients, the way we respond to needs, we need to adjust and adapt our budget for that as well. So we're trying to do that as we learn what the new post-COVID environment is like. We're going to adapt accordingly. The second part of the budget is operational sustainability, and that is really the core of the mission of administrative services. We support this university, this institution in a million different ways, all of which need appropriate funding, staff, and resources. And we see that in two ways. One is around the maintenance, the day-to-day maintenance itself, keeping buildings current, achieving and keeping a state of good repair, catching up for those buildings and facilities and equipment that have not been kept at a state of good repair, and then establishing a maintenance plan to retain that. Having to go back and react and fix is never the most efficient way. Let's try to, and this will not be done in a year, it won't even be done in 2 to 5 years, but we have to start somewhere, making a really aggressive pitch at starting to close the gap on the deferred maintenance and operational sustainability. And the second piece of that is all the capital improvements. You saw Mr. Duffy reflect all the new buildings. It's incredible. The campus continues to grow. The university continues to grow. It's what we all want. This is an institution that is on the map. It's growing in so many ways, but every new building that comes online, guess who has to take care of it? Everyone in the room and everyone behind us. And how are we going to do that? We have to make sure that every building that comes online comes with the appropriate resources to care for it and keep it in good condition. So again, I cannot guarantee what we will get, but we're not going to get any if we don't ask for it and make the demand. So we're going to very aggressively make our case for what the needs are. And the last two pieces are really more philosophical, but I think they'll drive us, as Mr. Duffy said, kind of to what that next level is for the institution around the strategic plan. A plan was recently adopted. There's a lot of threads in it, a lot of tactics and objectives. And while it might not call out administrative services specifically in any given spot, although I think it does in a few, but the thread of what this group does runs through that entire plan. Every aspect of that plan to be achieved is dependent on something someone in this room or behind you in your offices and your other departments is doing. And so we need to make sure that our budget reflects that so that we can help deliver on whatever the strategic objective is. And the last is about achieving one USF. There's no secret here. There is a movement to bring our university pieces together in a more cohesive way. St. Petersburg, Sarasota Manatee, Health, and our downtown areas as well, and all of those to operate as a more synchronized ecosystem. And to do that, we also want our budget to reflect that. We have different things going on in different parts of the university across all of these counties and different branches, and in order to sync them up, we may need to operate differently, and we want to reflect that in our budget. So, not to beat it up too much, but we really have, I think, and again, very impressed at what the team has put together before I even arrived as the framework to make a very aggressive and fact-based pitch for how to get the resources that the team needs to be successful. And then moving forward a little bit and just opening beyond just the budget, the other priorities, well, I can't stand here and tell you that I know exactly what they are now, but what I do know is that I'm here to listen and to learn, and that there's many inputs to learn from. The first is you, the staff itself, the people who do the job. You're the ones who know best where we are, where we could be, where we should be. So that listening tour starts today. It's already started. I'm on my visiting tour. I've met a lot of you in your places. I'll be on continuing that in the coming weeks. And I'd like that to be two-way. You know where I am. If you don't, we'll make sure you do, or how to locate me. And we have some survey tools and whatnot. And we're an open book. We want to make sure that your ideas and thoughts have a channel. Sometimes the best ideas are just out there, as Jen alluded to. You know, you see something every day that you don't understand why we do it. Well, maybe we don't need to do it anymore. So ideas and thoughts need to just have a free flow. And then I think about all of our constituents, our clients, the faculty, the deans, the students, the administrators, our trustees, our alumni, everyone who touches this campus or this institution in some way. You impact them. And I'd like to understand how we can help make their experience as best possible, whatever their experience might be, and then help translate that to how you can be successful in delivering it. And the last piece of the outreach is to our service support partners, HR, IT, and then the facilities management and our counterparts at St. Pete, Sarasota, Manatee, and Health. In some cases, we've got duplications of roles. I think we can synchronize some of those to some extent. And for HR and IT, those are groups we rely on, particularly as we're driving our own improvements. We're going to need to depend on them to do their job. So keeping those communication channels open and having a clear sense of what our goals are and how they correspond to theirs is kind of part of that first 90 days. Really, it's again, I'm here to be a leader, an ambassador, and an advocate for you to be successful. And to kind of wrap the overall discussion, challenges and strengths and opportunities ahead, you'll see some repetition there, but I think challenges, no doubt it is resources. That's what drives why budget is so important right now. We're only going to be as good as the ability to perform, and that's limited by our resources. Again, hard to guarantee what we will get, but I can guarantee we will work really hard and aggressively to kind of fill the gaps. I also think post-COVID environment is a bit of a challenge. We're experiencing it already. We certainly were at the City of Tampa. Just what does it look like from a workplace environment, from a service environment? How do we serve our clients and customers? How do we serve each other? How do we interact with each other? Are we at home? Are we hybrid? Are we here? All of those things, it's not quite all, that dust hasn't all settled, but we're here to work through it, to adapt. It's again, obviously not just us, it's a global day of reckoning, and so we will work to be on the forefront to make the best plan we can for our teams to be successful. And then I think a challenge also is the university org structure and framework, and by that I mean how spread out we are, how large we've become. It's a challenge for the reasons I described before. There's a lot going on. There's new buildings, new activities, new programs, new investments, all of these things happening. Sometimes they're within our world, sometimes they're not within our world, sometimes we're responsible for them, sometimes we're not. I think the idea of the one USF concept is a good one to start to sync those together, and that's why university org structure and framework is also an opportunity. That is that chance to start to sync things up a little bit, and in some cases rethink how all those pieces tie together in a more effective way. And if I go backward up the sentence of strengths and opportunities, momentum is a real strength for us to rely upon. That energy that this campus has, that this university has under President Law, and the transition that is, quite imminent for us, there is just a renewed sense of optimism and of inspiration, and I think we will all benefit from that. And lastly, it just comes back to people. It really is each of you, every person that's part of the organization. It begins and ends with you, our success and our progress. And I'm very thrilled and honored to be a part of it, and really look forward to working with everyone. So I think we had polled some Q&A. and I'm happy to take Q&A here on the fly. And as I said, whatever we don't answer today, I am not far away and will continue to be available and accessible for questions and thoughts and input. And again, really happy to be here. So, going back to
Yeah, so we gave you guys an opportunity to submit questions online, and two of the themes that kind of arose from that were centered on, one, closing that gap between our current wage rate and the market wage rate, which we talked about, and also just your path forward, which you've done a nice job laying out. Another question revolved around your vision for any reconstructing to align with both your goals and the One USF vision.
Good question about reconstruction. I don't have any plans. It's day 4. I didn't come with any preconceived notions about what should work or not work. My reflection of the past 4 days is this is an incredible team. It's an incredible organization. There's a lot of moving parts, and I'm the last one to come in and say what should, this should go that way and that should go this way. It seems like you have it pretty well figured out. But there is a lot of movement going on from the One USF concept, from the new president appointment that will happen, and we'll adapt to that. And also I will welcome input from it. And what I can commit to you is that if any changes are afoot, they won't be done in a vacuum, and they won't be done in a way that you're not involved in and aware of. And in fact, I kind of turn that question back around to say, you tell me, given the shifting sands of the way we operate, are there changes? Are there ways that we could be more effective, or that make your job easier, or that maximize our resources? So not to answer today, but I can tell you today there's no changes on the immediate horizon. What isn't on the horizon is dialogue and sharing of information so that I can best set us up for success. And if that takes us down different paths, then you'll be along with me and us, and this will be a team process.
Okay, another question, would you consider implementing a mentoring program to grow future leaders for the university?
Yeah, for sure. I love that question. I said this morning, I don't know who volunteered it, but if they must have something percolating, I'd love them to step forward and offer more about it. We had some apprenticeship programs at the city of Tampa, quite successful. You see a couple of them that were referenced in the presentations here that we're doing kind of along with the students. I think the Pillar program is an example of that as well, finding talent amongst ourselves and helping escalate it and elevate it. So absolutely. I don't know what that framework looks like, but if, I'm very supportive of it for sure.
Do we have any questions from the audience?
It's after lunch. Everyone's a little...
There's a mic right behind you there.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You've spoken a lot about transparency and wanting to communicate with employees. So obviously it's not beneath your station. Would you be open to sitting down with the executive board of in-unit members to further discuss the gap or the needs of the employees?
The executive board of what?
In-unit.
Oh, the in-unit. Yeah, I look forward to discussing with everyone. Now, I think from that perspective, there might be some procedures about how that happens. I don't know actually, but my response is yes, of course. I think reflecting what we saw, and we saw what Mr. Duffy reflected or showed about the increase, the wage and the COVID dollars that are coming your way, which was all coming from President Law. I hope that reflects already kind of a momentum toward the spirit of,
behind the scenes, not a lot of people have the voice, the strength to bring their voice forward. So I would say that would be rather likely for all of us.
I'd be happy to meet with you, absolutely, 100%.
Other questions?
Okay. We're winding through. So let me just do this. I appreciate the team gave me the hat this morning. I'm throwing on my USF OAS hat. And I would just send us off with a go Bulls. Look forward to seeing everyone, to talking with everyone more in whatever form is appropriate. And again, really honored to be here. So go Bulls. Thanks, everyone.